In this part we are listening to the distorted sounds of both pickups. We're running through the Blue Guitar Amp 1 Mercury's classic channel, which is like a boosted JCM 800, and we're going to do back-to-back kind of modern rock, post-hardcore kind of riffs. Again, listen for the clarity of each pickup and the string definition with each clip. Listen to the treble, middle and bass as well to see how much of each pickup has, and just think of your overall preferences, which you prefer, and how each pickup makes the amp react differently. All the information about the guitars, about the different pickups, and just about how I'm running the test can all be found in part 1 of the video. And if you haven't seen parts 1 and 2 already, I suggest you go back there just to get an idea of the clean differences and the overdrive differences before moving on to the distortion differences. In this video I think we start to see more variance in the sound. Typically when you add more gain you tend to see more of those nuances come out between different guitars, different pickups, different speakers, things like that. If you've got good speakers or good headphones, now is the time to use them, and I'll see you after the playing. Alright, so what did you think? You can really hear the difference between the two pickup styles, and you can see why people who are playing kind of heavier, distorted styles often change out their Jazzmaster bridge pickup for a P90 in a Jazzmaster cover. Like with the overdrive, we hear with the Jazzmaster pickup you get that real sense of saturation in the high end on those high frequencies, and it creates quite a crispy, crunchy high end sound which isn't necessarily pleasing to the ear. The P90 again has those highs rolled off, it has the lows rolled off, but it's still chunky because of the presence in the middle. Here I think in this example, more than perhaps in the first two, you can really hear the extended low end of the Jazzmaster pickup. If you listen beyond the mids, you can hear that the P90 is really chunky in the mids, but if you listen below that in the frequency range in these clips, I think you can really hear the extra added low end, the bassiness of the Jazzmaster pickup, which the P90 doesn't have, even though it might sound a bit more girthy because of its mid-range content. Again, the rolled off high end on the P90 just makes it a bit more pleasing to the ear. It's probably going to sit a bit more nicely in a band mix as well. With some notable exceptions, I think that Jazzmasters typically aren't used as a first choice for this style of music. However, it all comes down to context. It depends what amp you're using, it depends what pedals you're using, it depends what the other members in your band are using as well and how you want to fit in with them. And again, I had the EQ set completely neutral here. We're running again through a 4x12 of greenbacks, mic'd with a Sennheiser MD421 and a Royer R121. And the EQ was all set around 5.5 still, same as clips 1 and 2, or videos 1 and 2. I think if you have a Jazzmaster and you want to use it in this kind of heavy distortion style through like a boosted JCM 800 amp, like a hot-rodded Marshall, that kind of idea, you'd probably want to have the treble a fair bit lower to compensate for the inherent high end in the pickup, and you would probably want to boost the mids as well to cut through a bit more. I haven't commented on it in any of the other videos so far, but the Pure Vintage 65 pickup is really quite tinny actually compared to the other pickups. It seems to have quite a favourable reputation on forums online. I know Mike Adams says he doesn't like it, he finds it a bit kind of thin and doesn't really capture what he thinks of as the Jazzmaster sound. And actually I hadn't really noticed it before when just playing it in isolation. But you can really hear it, I think, actually in these back-to-back comparisons of how tinny it is and how much more scooped it is than the other pickups as well. Well, I hope that's been interesting, I hope it's been informative and useful. Next part, part 4, will be the last part, the last installment of this series of videos, and we're going to use a couple of different fuzz sounds to see whether one type of pickup is better, again in terms of articulation and EQ, with a fuzz pedal than the other. Hope to see you next time.